Our final installment this season of the Badgers Sports Report, and we continue our conversation with head football coach Paul Chryst as spring drills continuing with the spring game coming up on April 13th at Camp Randall Stadium. Last week we focused a bit on the defense, and today we look at the offense. It was a group that really came around, especially in the Orange Bowl, and a whole lot of starters return, looking to build on how they ended this past season. All of that coming up on today's edition of the Badger Sports Report.
Hornibrook in the shotgun as Taylor to his left. He'll give it to Taylor, running right to the 50, 45-40. Taylor 35-30, still up, down the sideline. Taylor the 10, Taylor the 5, touchdown, Jonathan Taylor. Snap to Thorson, Badgers rushing forward. Thorson rolls out to his right, 4 yards deep in his own end zone, and he's cut down by Dakota Dixon in the end zone, and that is a safety. Lee in the gun for the Badger 18-yard line where it's 3rd and 3. Lee, quick pass right side. Ozingo, it's popped loose and it's picked off by Wisconsin all alone at the 50. Chris Orr down to the 30, and he's gone at the 20, the 10, the 5, and it's a touchdown for Chris Orr. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Shotgun snap to Peters. Back to throw, under pressure and sacked as T.J. Edwards storming in there and getting to the Michigan quarterback. Off goes to Shaw, straight ahead to the 30, 25-20, he's gone. Touchdown, Wisconsin. And he's taken down by Ryan Conley. Fires to the right to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Sending 4, and one of them comes in scot-free. And there is a big, big win for the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by Zimbrick European, by UW Health, UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
We're home. Let's go.
What kind of SUV is that?
It's a brand new Buick Enclave.
That really makes it easy to unload all those little maniacs.
Sure does.
Hey, honey, we should get one of those and have like a ton more kids.
Yeah, I love that. More kids.
Yeah.
Introducing the all-new Buick Enclave, tomorrow's SUV for today's family. Current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this 2018 Buick Enclave for around $369 per month.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health, remarkable.
Hi, this is Coach Greg Gard, inviting you to join the Badger Basketball Booster Club. As a member of the Booster Club, you will have the opportunity to participate in a variety of great events, including pregame chalk talks, golf outings, and an away game bus trip. The Boosters play a vital role in assisting our staff and student athletes through fundraising and sponsorship. For additional information on joining the club, please call 608-265-6161. There's no better way to show your support than to join the Badger Basketball Boosters.
Family road trips just got a whole lot easier. The 2018 Nissan Rogue. Now with Nissan Intelligent Mobility, featuring technologies like available ProPilot Assist, which helps keep an eye on the road ahead and helps you stay centered while you're turning this lane into memory lane. Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
A.J. Taylor tight to the right, Cephas out to the left. Hornibrook drops the throw on first down, fires, touchdown Wisconsin. Throwing a dart to A.J. Taylor.
Final Badger Sports Report show of this season. We continue our conversation with head football coach Paul Chryst, and focusing a little bit now on the offense. Last week it was more general, a little bit on the defense. And I know, Paul, in the last show you mentioned Alex Hornibrook. It still continues to develop. I love what he said to a reporter after the Orange Bowl, which he was the MVP, had a great game, and he said, okay, now I need to do this again. Do it again and again. Probably not surprising from your perspective to hear that but it's pretty cool knowing that as well as he played, now let's see if you build from there.
It is good to hear, and you know, I was proud of the way that Alex approached really all of last year, but particularly for the bowl game, and you know, that was coming off the championship game where, you know, none of us felt great about certainly the result, and so I thought he did a great job of really focusing in, and he is a guy that has a purpose, and he is driven and he will work. And I think also now he's got, you know, a better understanding of some of those around him, so that he certainly doesn't feel like he's got to put all the pressure on himself. But he is, he's got a competitive edge to him that I love, and I think is really good for our team.
Do you need to get and work? We know about Alex, but I would imagine you need to see more from the other quarterbacks too. Good opportunity for them during spring drills to show you where they are in their development.
Spring is absolutely a great time, and I think, you know, Jack has done a good job of that, and will continue to finish that out. And then, you know, Cray Lyles and Danny Vandenboom. And so we got to make sure that Alex is getting enough work. He's still, you know, relatively young in the sense that, you know, just finished his sophomore season, and yet he's played a lot of football. And because of that, I think it allows for the other three to get some work. And it's, you know, like I was talking about Jack before spring practice started, and you know, he came last year early, and he talked about it. He really didn't have a clue what was going on. And so I think, you know, fall was better, and certainly I think he feels better, and it's shown, you know, he's a little bit much better understanding what's going on. So it's huge for him, and the same can be said for Cray, and then Danny Vandenboom's going through his first spring. So it's important. You know, the quarterback's no different than other position, but it's really important for all those guys to get good work.
And no coincidence probably too that some of the best offenses around here have had, ironically, some of the best offensive lines. I thought it was refreshing. You had three guys who could have gone.
Right.
Michael Dieter, Bo Benshaw, David Edwards. There's been stories locally, stories in the Chicago Tribune about their thought process. There's not a right or wrong. It's easy for those of us on the outside to say go or stay. But it was kind of cool to hear three guys who kind of like college. They kind of have fun around here, don't they?
They do, and they're fun to be around. And you're right, it's a very individual decision. You know, give all three of them credit for kind of going through it their own way, and it happened, and we feel fortunate that they all made the same decision in the end. And yet I think all are for maybe a little bit different reasons, and yet I think that it has to be right for them. And I do think that there's great value in what they can get done in this year, and certainly part of it's enjoying the whole college experience and, you know, furthering, you know, their academic studies. But I think also for football, you know, there's a lot of work that can be done for them individually in the weight room, and so we've done a good job, I think, of making sure that that continues to be the focus. We're fortunate right now. We've got a pretty deep group of offensive linemen, so what they need to be working on maybe isn't the same that young group of offensive linemen and the group that we had redshirted, which is even younger. So we've got numbers where, you know, this spring's different for those three, and it should be different. They played a lot of football. There's things that they need to work on, and I think Joe's done a nice job of making sure they're getting that work, but they also need to, one, make sure their bodies are back. You know, Michael Dieter had some off-season things to work on, and now make sure they're trained so they can truly have a great season, and that will help them professionally.
You mentioned the depth on the offensive line. It seems like you have more depth in the receiving core too. Those young guys really seem like they played well, especially, you know, the bowl game really stands out. You're never fully satisfied probably that the depth is where you want it, but I would think it's come a long way, that position group, hasn't it?
It's starting to get there, and I kind of feel like that group's maybe like a year behind when we were talking about the offensive line, you know, to where it's how you really want it to be. And there's no doubt that, you know, the last game, you know, in the Orange Bowl, you know, Quintez was injured, but Danny and AJ and KP, they played well, but those were the only three that played. You know, so we do need depth, and there's a lot of youngsters, and we'll be adding some more in the summer. So I think that we're starting to get to that point, and that's once again where spring can be good, and it's important. I think it's important for Alex, you know, as we're going through the season. You know, last year this time, Alex maybe met Danny Davis when he came up for a visit. they'd never been on the field together. And the same could be said with, KP hadn't really been playing. And so there's still a lot that they've got to work out and work through. Jonathan Taylor, this is his first spring, and certainly we've got a pretty good idea that he's a good running back, but there's a lot of things in his game that he can grow on, and particularly in some of our third down packages. So each guy's got a little something different to work on this spring, and that's what's made it fun so far.
That's what's fun about talking to Jonathan Taylor. He's the first guy who will tell you that he can get better. I mean, he put up some major numbers, but he say, yeah, but I can do this, this, and this a little bit better. It's encouraging to hear that.
It is, and those guys have to keep that edge. And boy, what he did last year truly was one for the record books, right? But that's why I think he's got a chance to. He is really talented. He is really good, but where he can be different because he does have that mindset of never being satisfied, and he knows just how when we first started talking about, he didn't do it alone. And we talked about Bo and David and Michael, they had something to do with it, and so it's Jonathan's a really neat person to be around.
Yeah, he sure is. Spring game on April 13th at Camp Randall Stadium, 6 o'clock kickoff. It's $5 to get in, but once again, the University of Wisconsin Athletics helping partner with another area on campus this year. It's the School of Veterinary Medicine. So come on out and watch the Badgers in mid-April here at Camp Randall. Coach is back in a few minutes with a great day and great question of the week.
This is Lexi Rush. She's 10, and she's amazing. You see, Lexi was born deaf and couldn't hear anything. That was until her doctor in Appleton referred her to the pediatric specialists at UW Health in Madison. Now, 2 operations later, Lexi can hear everything. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health. Remarkable.
Back in 2015, the Badger men's basketball team's motto was "Make 'em believe." That was the fuel that drove them to a berth in the national championship game. Following a 13-1 season and an Orange Bowl victory,
the Wisconsin Badgers, for the first time in program history, win 13 games.
The Badger football team has a slogan of their own: "Nobody cares, work harder."
All the excuses of why you can't do something and all your stuff aside, you need to come here and work because that's what we do here. It's something that's the people who came here before us and laid the foundation, all they did was work, and they got to be successful, and it's something that we need to continue to do to keep bringing that success.
Last year's last year. We had a great season and it was a fun season, but we can't do anything we can't take last year, and all we can do is work harder and get ready for next season.
The Miami 21st and 10 Rozier back to throw, and he gets sent down with authority by Olive Songapolu.
Whatever's done in the past is done in the past. Whatever you do now is really what matters. It's all about our preparation, taking advantage of each rep, every opportunity that we have to kind of get on this field, compete against each other, compete as a team. That's kind of really what matters.
If that sounds a bit like Hakuna Matata from The Lion King, you're not far off. The motto was the brainchild of strength and conditioning coach Ross Kalaji.
You may be tired, you're grinded, but honestly, there's guys around you who are grinded too. Nobody's caring about you, so you just keep working for the guy next to you, and it's a lot. It's meaningful when you're sitting there and you're in the meetings talking about it, and you're out here on Fridays in the winter, just everybody's puking, and it's just working harder. And nobody cares. Work harder. Just keep going.
Takes the snap. Badgers bring it 4. Pockets tight. Ball's tipped in the air. Picked off by T.J. Edwards at the 50. He's to the 40, and he's all alone at the 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
You're only as good as your last rep, and this is a complete new team, complete new season. So it's nice to look back and see the success we had, but it doesn't mean much for this team, and something you can't really look back on because we have so much work to do ahead.
One player that has a unique perspective of nobody cares, work harder, is early enrollee and safety Reggie Pearson.
When I was little, everybody kept telling me oh, you're a little dude, you're small, you shouldn't play this, you should play that. And it came to me they really don't care about me. They just here because they probably know my family, or I come from a football background. So maybe I should put in extra stuff so I can show them at the top I'm not here just to be here. I want to actually be an impact of something.
This place is awesome. So I don't call it a transition. I call it an upgrade.
After being out of football for a year, Bobby April is back coaching the game he loves. The Badgers' new outside linebackers coach took over after Tim Tibesar left to be Oregon State's defensive coordinator.
I've always been a fan of the Badgers, so it's important to understand like my background has always been supportive of Badger football just because of the way we play. So to have the opportunity to come here was really important for me to take that.
April and Badgers defensive coordinator Jim Leonard have a unique connection despite never coaching together before.
I've kind of been on his heels in his NFL career, right, which is an interesting way. When he left, I got there. So knowing the same people and talking the same language has made a transition here really, really easy, because when we talk a certain way, we know what we're saying and we can visualize what we're saying. When sometimes you get a job and you've got to learn new verbiage, that's not the case here.
He's a guy that not only is he going to teach you the right thing, he's going to say it in a way that you're going to remember it. You know, he's got that personality, so I think it's going to be great for our guys, and he's going to coach them hard.
Before his year hiatus, April coached the Buffalo Bills linebackers for one season. During his year off, he watched every single Badgers game and came away with 2 impressions about his outside linebacking crew, led by Andrew Van Ginkel.
Touchdown, Wisconsin! Pick 6, Andrew Van Ginkel!
These guys are really smart. You can tell them one thing, they get it done. It's not something that you have to keep repping. So the intelligence, the football IQ is really high. We ask them to do a lot of things. You know, one play they'll be in man coverage on a tight end, the next man coverage on a back. Then all of a sudden they're blitzing or they're in zone coverage. So we're giving those guys a lot of tools. And that's why I think we've been so successful in moving guys forward to the next level, is that we do everything with that outside backer position.
If the Badgers' outside backers continue to produce at the level they have in the past, April will enjoy Madison even more. For the Badger Sports Report with Paul Chryst, I'm Ryan Wing.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC with over $11,500 total value on a specially equipped Sierra SLT Crew Cab model when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade. GMC.
Most people don't know that UW Health and the University of Wisconsin are national leaders in the field of kidney transplant. They provide new life for those who will likely die without a transplant, and they assure a normal life for those who donate. I would know. I donated a kidney, and together, we saved a life.
UW Health. Remarkable.
We're home. Let's go.
What kind of SUV is that?
It's a brand new Buick Enclave.
That really makes it easy to unload all those little maniacs.
Sure does.
Hey, honey, we should get one of those and have like a ton more kids.
Yeah, I love that. More kids.
Yeah.
Introducing the all-new Buick Enclave, tomorrow's SUV for today's family. Current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this 2018 Buick Enclave for around $369 per month.
On Saturdays during football season, the Badgers wow us with their moves on the field. But who knew those moves translated to the dance floor as well? In what's become a yearly tradition, Badger football players link up with the UW dance team to entertain fans at the Kohl Center during a basketball game. Is this your first year doing the dance?
No, I wish I could say it was, but it's my 3rd year running. You know, I'm a veteran out here, so I know the moves pretty well. I feel pretty good about this one.
Last year it was my first time, so it was a lot more difficult last year.
So the guys are kind of showing you the ropes of what to do at half?
Oh yeah, especially at Lepay, and I give big credit to Chris over there. Chris has showed me the way, being real confident out there.
Hey, that's called sauce walking.
That's what?
That's called sauce walking.
Sauce walking.
Yeah.
Do I have it down?
Yeah, you got some sauce too. You got, yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
Nah, that's it. That's all I know.
All right, so there you have it. I just learned Chris Orr's signature move. You had to take some of the guys under your wing and teach them some of your dance moves?
You know, I just let them do their thing, you know, just kind of have fun out there. That's kind of the main point of today.
How long have you guys been practicing on this dance?
We put 2 good work days into it, you know, a couple hours here and there, and just, you know, your own thing, just kind of finding your move, and once you find that, you should be good.
Do you have a special dance move that you're going to show us?
I don't, yeah. This is sort of a game plan in the moment thing.
Who's the best dancer?
Olive Sangapolo. He can do the splits.
Who is the best dancer?
Me. It's me. Me.
So we heard you are the best dancer on the team. Does that put pressure on today's performance?
I wouldn't say I'm the best dancer. I think the best dancer on the team would probably be AJ Taylor. He's out here today. AJ Taylor! AJ! He's number 4 for the Badgers.
Did you teach him the splits move?
Yes, I did.
How long did it take him to get the splits down?
It took him like 2 minutes because he's flexible.
Do you have a special dance that you're going to show us today?
It'll be beautiful. You will like it.
Can you give us a little preview?
Can I give you a little preview? You gotta just
Is that it?
me. Yep. That's me.
Can you give us a preview right now? We're putting you on the spot. 2 linemen with those kind of moves? And they didn't disappoint the crowd with their splits and sauce walking during their Kohl Center cameo. For the Badger Sports Report with Paul Chryst, I'm Lexi Graytech.
Family road trips just got a whole lot easier. The 2018 Nissan Rogue. Now with Nissan Intelligent Mobility, featuring technologies like available ProPilot Assist, which helps keep an eye on the road ahead and helps you stay centered while you're turning this lane into memory lane. Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC with over $11,500 total value on a specially equipped Sierra SLT Crew Cab model when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade. GMC.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health, remarkable.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by Hy-Vee. Where there's a helpful smile in every aisle, Hy-Vee proudly supports the Wisconsin Badgers. By UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
Time for our final Great Dane Great question of the week for this season, and it comes from Terry out of Tomah, Wisconsin. Coach wants to know, how did you enjoy being the moderator? Pretty cool series of hockey videos that you did with Mark Johnson and Tony Granato. I got to say, it was fun to watch. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I still would argue that I had no place at that table.
But it was,
I mean, truly 2 great, people that I look up to, admire, respect a ton in Mark Johnson, Tony Granato. And then, I didn't know really where it was going to go. And And yet I could have done it for another 10 hours. And really to see, you know, the passion that, you know, hockey in the Olympics is big. And then the respect. I remember, you know, this is a different function we're at, but when Tony saw, you know, Tony and myself were at the same, Mark left, and Tony goes, "That's the greatest American hockey player ever." You know, you talking about what happened in '80, and then Tony's been a part of the Olympics 3 different times. I mean, it was fascinating. I loved it.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, you should. Just get on UW-Badgers.com, and it's a series of videos. It's pretty fun to watch, and you'll learn something, or you'll enjoy it. You'll be educated as well as entertained. Thanks a lot for your question. The Great Dane with 4 locations in Madison, east side of town, downtown Fitchburg, as well as Hilldale. I want to thank all the great folks at the Great Dane Hilldale for hosting the coaches shows, hockey, football, and basketball throughout this Badgers sports season. And when you're heading up to the North Woods, take a detour stop in Wausau for the Great Dane location there. Thanks to all of you for watching us this season. We will do it again in August for another year of the Badger Sports Report.
Honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport, the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
Family road trips just got a whole lot easier. The 2018 Nissan Rogue. Now with Nissan Intelligent Mobility, featuring technologies like available ProPilot Assist, which helps keep an eye on the road ahead and helps you stay centered while you're turning this lane into memory lane. Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
A pulse, felt by one, sends a ripple, felt by some. A shiver, felt by many, until it amplifies, magnifies into a tremor that electrifies. Badgers everywhere, moving as one, tilting the